Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're driving a 2013 E92 M3 competition package. At this point we're going to call this an EAG Signature Car. This video is going to serve as a first look at this new arrival. We are going to have some fun doing a little driving experience with this V8 powered, well, analog end of era M3 two-door, and we're going to drive the long way to EAG and our body shop, where we have several other cars that are in process going through the rejuvenation program. And I wanted to connect some dots both with this car as well as those other cars, showing you some of the ins and outs of what goes into that program to bring these cars back to nearly new condition for a second time in life. We have a pair of lime rocks, I believe, in the paint correction, or sorry, in the paint and body shop, and so it's going to be kind of fun to align those up. Spent a little bit of a V8 M3 week with the Storal Blue M3 that you saw the first look video, or the walk around video, I should say, in the Super Secret Warehouse number 2. And well, these are really great cars that are absolutely a ball of fun to drive. As I turn my settings up, I love that we have all these different individual channels to control, as opposed to one as like a macro on some of the newer ones like the M2s. And it's well, a lot of fun. I think I'm just gonna drive for a minute. This M3 has a really cool story, and why it is an EAG Signature Car comes down to the fact that we know it very, very well, having acquired it from the first and only original owner. The car had a whopping, what, 400, that's right, 400 miles on it. This was, what, maybe 2 and a half years ago. And it's mineral white in color. It has obviously the black interior. It's a pretty heavily optioned car, and well, this original owner actually worked for BMW. He was a franchised dealer technician. He saved up his money, obviously, for quite a long time to get to the point where he was going to buy a brand new M3, and that's exactly what he did during its final model year of production. And he, for some reason, just didn't drive it a whole lot, and the mileage became kind of more of a point of pride, and keeping it just ridiculously low mileage, it was how he enjoyed the car. And everybody has different ways of enjoying cars, or bicycles, or motorcycles, or artwork, or property, or anything. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's a function of taking joy from the way that you are doing it, and if it brings you joy, then that's why you do it. We then sold the car to a client in Texas. His thought process was, I get to buy a brand new car for a second opportunity in life, and that's exactly what that opportunity was demonstrated to be. And he put about 500-600 miles in the car and said, well, I love this car, but I just can't bring myself to drive it as much as I thought I was going to. And we ended up buying the car back from him. We then put the car through the program yet again, did a couple services on it. I think we changed the original battery at that time, another oil change, which it's had 4 or 5 of since new. And this time we sold it to another EAG repeat client out in New Jersey, a client that we had done, I think, 4 previous deals with prior to this one. Mr. Kieran, thank you for the business over these years, and looking forward to doing the next one with you again. And well, it is a great opportunity to keep the car in another loving home again after he's completed his lap with the car. He did use the car more so as a daily driver, and it was a fair weather driver, but he certainly was quite smitten with the ability to get some really good open roads here over the last couple of months, and he took full advantage of that with this car, and he said he was super happy that he did, because he logged some of the best and most fun miles he's had well, driving, he said, and that was great to hear. He made some great memories, and now at 8,166 miles, this is still a really low mileage car. It is 97 points out of 100 points if we wanted to kind of grade it. Yes, V8 M3s, lots of fun. For those of you that have not driven the S65 M3, this engine is just an absolute harmony of mechanical, naturally aspirated perfection. Oh, sounds so good. This is a blast. I love my job. Oh. Perfect. There's no question that there are a lot of unique and desirable characteristics of the E92 M3 platform, but the engine is just steals the show every single time I drive one of these. That engine just absolutely stuns me. I love it. I love it. I love it. As we've done in several of the other videos, I'm going to add the PSEA into this video. That's the Public Service Enthusiast announcement. The V8 M3s do have one shortcoming that, of course, many people are quite wildly aware of, and that is that they do suffer from lower connecting rod engine bearing failures. The most important thing, here's your announcement, is let your oil come up to temperature. Part 2. Change your oil more frequently than what BMW's scheduled service intervals required and covered under warranty when they were new. Enthusiast Auto recommends a 5,000 mile oil change interval using the BMW Castrol, I guess now it's called Shell, but it's still BMW brand 10W60. That is the oil that this engine was engineered to use, and it is our position and opinion that is the best oil for this engine. That said, if you have done your due diligence and your oil changes regularly, you've not revved this engine on cold oil, when we send the oil out to have a laboratory analysis done on the oil, it's an oil sample report. It's no different than having your blood drawn and getting that workup after a year or 5 away from the doctor. The results don't lie, and that gives us a good idea of what's going on inside the engine. That is standard protocol on our V8 M3s, and something that, one of the things that will set Enthusiast Auto and our program apart from other shops, and we want to make sure we know exactly what's going on inside, and that we can sell the car with the same confidence that we always do and always have with an EAG BMW. End of PSEA. We've made it to EAG's Paint and Body Studio. This is where we make beautiful cars that much more beautiful, and have no shortage of cars in process at the moment. Looks like we've got quite a lot of EAG Rejuve cars, as well as internal inventory that is being beautified for the next Enthusiast owner. We're going to do a walk around as well on the mineral white here, and I'm going to show you the condition of the car, it is in tip-top shape. We're going to go around a lot of these other cars that we're surrounded with. We've also done a lot of the paintless dent removal, as well as, well, you name it, and we do it in-house to ensure quality is managed to the EAG quality standard. This is going to be a fun little lap, so I don't get to show you the paint and body shop all that much, and so this is I'm looking forward to this. I hope you are too. Gosh, I love this car. Oof. She healthy. She healthy. Good girl. All right. The condition of this mineral white M3 is nothing short of, well, top. We have found just a couple small imperfections on the car, with the main ones being, well, that front bumper. That original imperfection I mentioned that we've been living with is right here. We weren't sure, nor was the original owner, if it was something that happened during transport. And he made the option call to, well, not refinish it and keep it original upon delivery. And I'm not sure if he did his own pre-delivery inspection, the PDI, or another tech at his dealership did, but he kept it all original until, well, today. I'm dropping the car off, and we are going to go ahead and remedy this front bumper. Those front license plate bracket holes, unfortunately, are the car's better than that. We need to take care of that, and if you use too long of a screw, you actually get 4 holes instead of just the 2. But overall, the condition is super nice. Looks like I had a nice little bug strike, but that front bumper is going to be fresh as new when we're done. I've not seen any stone chips on the paint, which is going to be quite important from a full disclosure standpoint. We have all of the photos from the first 2 rounds that we're going to go ahead and use. The car is in arrival condition relative to its cleanliness. We've not yet had a chance to wash the car, and of course I've gotten the wheels a little bit dirty with those fun brake tests to ensure absolute maximum stopping power. And I think that drive that we've just completed certainly is signified by this window sticker. That was a joy in driving, and that's exactly what the M3s are all about. Here with the original window sticker, we can see our options with the comp package, the cold, premium, carbon leather interior trim, satellite radio, BMW apps. Well, then we also have a plethora of the service documentation and the build sheet and everything on the car since new. So certainly nice to have all that documented, original keys, etc. The car is, well, about as nice as one can hope. We're sitting now at the 8,182 miles. The car will spend about a week, 10 days at the paint and body shop. It's important to take our time to ensure that every step is taken, just as we do with every car that goes through. And this is a customer Dynon Stage 2 M5, of course, getting the gas door rust, and Andy's going to take us through that right now. One of the more common repairs done here at Enthusiast Auto Paint and Body is, well, the famed gas door pocket corrosion. The E39s do suffer from this. We've seen this in many of the videos that we've brought to you, and we have Andy, who has been a fixture of the EAG family in the paint and body shop since, well, our origination was that 8 years ago, right, Andy?
Yes, 8 years.
Yeah, and well, we're halfway through or so. Andy, if you would, maybe talk us through the process from start to finish of what goes into this repair relative to, you know, this Dynon Stage 2 customer rejuve.
Okay, so first things first, I take a razor blade and I clean all the existing seam sealer that would be laying in this seam here. Then I will take a sandblasting gun and I would sandblast all the corrosion that is around the seam sealer and that comes from beneath this seam. Then I'll take every grit of sandpaper from 80 all the way up to 320 and feather the area so it's nice and it's ready for me to prime.
Is that where you're at now?
That is where I'm at now. Then now I will actually take tape, cover all these areas, then run an actual seam around here so I don't get a hard edge, and I will prime all this area. Then tomorrow I will come in, I'll sand it all down, and I will match and lay a factory bead of seam sealer in this seam. Then it'll be completed and be ready for paint.
Cool. It's important when you notice that you've got a little bit of oxidation just starting to go ahead and address it soon, because this can come out over on the panel, and we do see that if it has been delayed in receiving attention. There isn't too much that EAG doesn't do in-house at this point, really pretty much little to nothing. And any and everything that we need to do to bring that car back to near new condition will be done, and with a lot of tedious attention paid, down to the weather stripping even, like on the windshield gaskets when they've sat outside a bit. We'll go ahead and install new ones, which is what's sitting right there on the inside of the car. Customer rejuve getting some European bumpers, and here is our paint booth. That's a global double downdraft that has certainly had its good workout over the years. Another customer rejuve that had some PDR that was just unfortunately not done by a professional, such as the EAG technicians that have many years doing it. A lot of guys would drill holes and just stretch metal, which is what we unfortunately found in this case, is the metal was just pushed out so much in just this area that it didn't go back together, and it was just a big pimple defect. And with very low mileage on this C28, it was important to fix it the right way. Another EAG new arrival, and Ryan is taking his time to get the car straight and doing so the right way. I believe, yeah, you can see inside here, we'll take the car apart to the point where we have access to get to the panel the right way. Ryan, how long you been doing PDR work?
Coming up on 20 years.
20 years, and you learned a couple things over the years, huh? Ryan is arguably one of the best in the industry, and what I've seen this man push out, complex inward, outward dents, all even feet long sometimes, and he's been able to save original body panels and paint on more than one occasion, and that is certainly a artisan trade and craft. And you'll see there's a dent right there in the middle of that quarter panel, and I can guarantee you that when the car goes in the photo studio, which is the next building over there, that door ding will no longer be present. Right, Ryan?
Absolutely. And I haven't even seen it.
Ryan also has no shortage of tools. How many tools do you have, Ryan?
No idea. 20 years worth.
Here is what a mix room looks like for those of you that have not been in a mix room before. BASF, which has purchased Glasurit, will be the main paint of choice. And in here you will see our spray outs. Let's see if we can find so carbon black metallic. There's a dozen or so there. 303. Oh, that's a fun one. It's probably gonna be Chiaretto. Let's see. What else? There is, oh, that's probably got to be silver gray metallic. There you go, there's a good example. There's 30 probably in there. Silver gray is definitely one of the harder colors to match. Any of the metallics can certainly cause you some trouble, and getting that color match is something that is vitally important for a high quality, lasting repair, and that's why we'll buy the cars back. We have a pair of M3 Lime Rocks that have not yet hit the market, and this could be, to a degree, a first look of each of these cars. And each car did have some imperfections on the front bumper, and actually both had license plate brackets previously installed, such as the mineral white. And while these cars don't yet have their splitters put back on from BMW M Performance, this is the finished product. We probably have a little bit more sanding and nib buff to take place before the final step. This is the press car, the BMW press car. This is 6-speed manual with 41,000 miles. We purchased from the, well, I guess technically we call him the second owner, given BMW also had the car in service for the first 5,000 or so miles. And another one owner DCT 4,000 mile car, obviously a member of the BMW CCA, and is awaiting its final steps before hitting the turntable. Of course, the E39s are, quite plentiful as of late, and another EAG rejuve there with the 540M Sport. And that car's got a really cool story. Semi-local Michigan client, his uncle asked him to help spec that car new when ordering it, and upon his passing, the car was passed down to him, and that car has become quite the apple of his eye, and it's getting the love that only EAG can bestow upon it, and love the license plate. We have a pair of M5 bumpers that are in process that will give you a good indication of kind of what that midway step is once they've been primed the license plate bracket holes in this Le Mans Blue 02 one-owner M5 from the Pacific Northwest, and one more round of sanding and priming, and then these will be ready to go in the paint booth and go back on the Le Mans M5 that's just outside here. We'll also take a quick lap through the paint correction and photo studio, see what's going on in there before we end, and certainly enjoy bringing you guys through the workshop and showing you these little bit of a virtual tour, as I guess we can call it. Gives you a good idea of the scope and the range of what EAG is doing every single day, and that is that one owner Le Mans on Carmel. We've got another Estoril Blue, I guess again we can call that a first look. That's a S2 M Roadster that's getting its front bumper rehabilitated. Another customer local, and then this is a good example. This car you might recognize, but from bring a trailer sale. This is a 2003 that is a Carmel interior with about 66,000 miles. EAG is this car. We sold it back in 2012. The previous owner that we sold it to moved around a bit, and there are a couple things that precluded us from getting the car back, and unfortunately one of the guys didn't wipe out the fuel door often enough, and this is what happens if the rust will actually come out over onto the quarter panel. We'll then have to dig a little bit deeper, and well, unfortunately have to paint that quarter panel as a result to get the right lasting repairs that we require. Of the cars in the studio, I think most of them are, well, some new arrivals, and I guess some leavers too. The bamboo interior on this Melbourne red, I just love this color combo. This is a 2011, I believe, just coming through the process. I do not believe this is on the website yet either. Of course, that M3 GT I keep teasing you with, staying nice and safe and sound, and that's going to be on deck here soon. I want to surely take my time to give you the full experience that you're hoping to have with that very, very special car. Congratulations to Eric down in Florida. We've created a pretty great relationship with this Enthusiast down there, and this is a 1M that we acquired from the first owner. Never even hit the website, just 2,000 miles, and it's getting its full paint correction now, and then some coatings, and off onto the truck down to sunny Florida. The Dynan Stage 2 is getting a little bit of paint love, and going to go ahead and buff and polish the interior trim. A lot of the stuff will come out quite well with this 90,000 mile driver, and I'm excited to get behind the wheel of that one again. The bronze at 5,000 mile car staying safe and sound. This is the car that we bought on its original MSO, the European spec. And another new arrival, Stickers is the nickname for this car. This is not yet on the website. This is actually the very, very first look. We will certainly do a longer video with this one and maybe give you a more proper first look on this one owner titanium silver 32,000 mile M5. And I'll tell you why we call the car Stickers, and it doesn't have anything to do with the original old fading clear bra that is in process of being removed. But one owner M5s, that is what we have right here, and this is the 9,400 mile king of all survivor E28 M5s, and I'm very, very proud of this car and the months that we've invested in rehabilitating this car back to effectively new shape. We've got a couple more steps. It's in process with the leather rejuvenation. We've got 2 more steps on the interior to go, and so it's going to be a little bit glossy and waxy and not yet totally presentable the way you'll see it here on the website, but that's what it takes to get that original texture and feel back. Gotta say, great job to the guys with the striping on the carpets. Those details make me happy. Super happy with this car, and very, very excited to meet the next owner and write the second chapter of this survivor's life. So I think that is a pretty darn good lap around the paint and body studios. Appreciate everybody tuning in to this mineral white M3. It is available. We are going to price this car at $71,990. The car is in all stock form, and it is in line with what we have sold several other E92 M3s for here recently, especially with the 6-speed transmission, which will bring a little bit of a premium over those DCTs, as is the trend of the market. So thanks again for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe for more. See ya. What'd you say over there?
Get my C on there.
Oh, I'll get your C on there.